Hi, and welcome to this video on simplifying fractions. We'll see how to reduce fractions to their lowest form, meaning that the numerator and the denominator have no useful factors in common. Any two whole numbers will have 1 as a common factor, but that doesn't help when simplifying. For example, the fractions presented here are all in their lowest form. Have a look at any of these and you'll notice that the numerator and the denominator have no common factor other than 1. So how do we simplify a fraction? It's important to note that you can multiply or divide the numerator and the denominator however you want, excluding by 0, as long as you are multiplying or dividing by the same number. This means that the value of the fraction will stay the same. So notice here we have some fraction a over b. We've multiplied the top and the bottom by c, but it's still the same fraction. Or we have divided the top and the bottom by d, but it's still the same value. So let's look at some examples. 5/15. Now, what if we divided the top and the bottom by 5? Well, the numerator becomes 5 divided by 5 is 1, and the denominator becomes 15 divided by 5, which is 3. So 1/3 is the same thing as 5 over 15. But we could go the other way. We could multiply the top by 2 and the bottom by 2. So 10/30 is also the same fraction. So to simplify a fraction, we simply divide the numerator and the denominator by common factors until we can do it no longer. So for example, 6 over 18. Well, perhaps let's start by dividing both by 2. 6 divided by 2 gives us 3, and 18 divided by 2 gives us 9. Well, can we go any further? Well, yes, actually. 3 and 9 can both be divided by 3. 3 divided by 3 gives us 1. 9 divided by 3 gives us 3. Hence, 18 over 3 is the same thing as 1/3. Notice also that since this bottom fraction is a third and this top fraction is a third, these two fractions must also be equal. Of course, we could have just noticed that the top and the bottom of this fraction can be divided by 6, and that would take us straight to 1/3. This brings us on to the quickest way to simplify a fraction. To do so, you want to find the highest common factor between the numerator and the denominator and divide both of these by this number. For example, if we want to simplify completely 12 over 16, let's look for the highest common factor between 12 and 16. Well, the highest common factor is going to be 4. Hence, we shall divide 12 by 4 and divide 16 by 4. 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. 16 divided by 4 gives us 4. Notice that 3 and 4 have no common factors other than 1, so this is the most simplified version. How else is this procedure helpful? Well, because we can also expand fractions using these principles. For example, if we want to add 2/3 and 1/12, we want the denominators to be the same. Remember, when adding or subtracting fractions, you want the denominators to be the same. Well, we can certainly turn the denominator of this one into 12 by multiplying by 4. Remember, you have to multiply or divide the top and the bottom by the same thing. So we also have to multiply the top by 4. Hence we have 2 times 4 gives us 8. 3 times 4 gives us 12 as we wanted. And we're adding this to 1/12. Now we can add the fractions where we just add the numerators together. Gives us 9 over 12. Now let's see if we can simplify this fraction. Well, 9 and 12, their highest common factor is 3. So divide 9 by 3. Gives us 3. Divide 12 by 3 gives us 4. Hence, the answer to this question is 3 over 4. And this is in the simplified form. And that concludes this video on simplifying fractions.